Hello. So, because I have so many of these Stephen King books, I'm going to try to make these shorter. Okay, I'm going to try really hard. So, the next one is The Shining. I think everybody knows what that's about, but it's about a little boy who can see ghosts, and he ends up trapped in a hotel with his family um, over a long winter. Very isolation trope, and I have canonically said that I love those, and I do. And I do love The Shining. Um, Previously, that was probably what I would say was my favorite Stephen King book, but it's also it was also like a frustrating one for me because I like this one's influential because I would say it was my favorite Stephen King, but also because um, I would think about it a lot in that the reason that I picked it up in story form because it was one where I watched I think like two versions of the movie. Um, I think I'd watched two by then. I think. I think. Um, I know I at least watched the one with Jack Nicholson. Uh, I enjoyed them so much that I wanted to read the book. I wanted to know more about the ghost. And so the reason I picked it up was because I was hoping that because, Stephen King's so long winded and he'll talk about a feather floating through town for ages, I thought he would talk more about the ghosts in the book that just weren't covered as well in the movie because, runtime. I was wrong. He doesn't talk more about them in the book. He's actually pretty short winded in the book. The book and the movie are like twins, basically, practically. Not like perfect, you know. Um, so, but I love ghosts and I love isolation tropes. I love Danny. Danny's amazing, so cute. Um, I liked all the spooky stuff that happened in it. Um, so I do think about The Shining a lot. It's one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my favorite Stephen King's. Um, I do think about it a lot because sometimes when I'm writing, I think about how disappointed I was in not hearing more about the spookier people. Like, he very much focuses on the human horror aspect of it, which is what it's famous for. Um, but I wanted more ghosts. And I think about it when I'm writing because I think about how, like, what is the most interesting aspect of this and what's going to keep me engaged. And you know what probably kept him engaged is probably the more human horror aspect of it. And it wasn't what I was looking for, and that's obviously fine. But like remembering that also lets me like remember that I can hyper focus on what I feel like is the most interesting aspect of like a story too. I can go into depth where I want to go in depth, and somebody else is going to enjoy it too. So that's how that one's been influential to me. I'm gonna move on to the next Stephen King one because there's a few. Okay, I'm sorry, but he's an influential author in my life, and he's got a lot of good books. Like he's got a lot of not good books too, but I'm mostly talking about the good ones other than Cell. Um, but do love The Shining. Doctor Sleep is also really good. I don't love it as much as The Shining, but it is also very good.